message, kind of an interesting title. I actually got it in somewhat of a weird way, I guess. I mean, sometimes like you get your messages, like you might hear a blessed man of God preaching, and like they say something interesting that like just hits you, and that kind of develops into a message. But this time it was quite different. Instead of that, God in fact put me through it first, so then it became a message. Um, but what ended up happening was I've been out. I didn't have internet for about a week now, so that sucks. First, like 3, 4 days, I felt like you're disconnected from society. It was crazy. But after 3 or 4 days, it was kind of fine. But anyway, I was supposed to get my internet today, but like I missed it. And like what really ended up happening was like I just missed the dude to install the internet, so it sucked. But like my message is based off of that. No, you'll see, you'll see. But that's terrible. But like I like to base my messages off of something that I've been through, that I lived through. Um, I really don't like preaching messages that I haven't really went through because I feel like it's weird. Like, for example, for example, I'll take Alex. I use him as an example. He just sits up here. So, like, for example, if me and Alex both have never seen a Honda in our lives, for example, and I just start telling Alex what a Honda looks like if I have never seen it in my life. It's the weirdest thing ever. You can't do that. And so that's why I like to base my messages off something I went through. And what ended up happening today was I was thinking about preaching on something else, but today I just ended up asking God, like, what do you want me to say? What do you want to say through me, God? And I was asking that while I was working on my way back home, uh, little knowing that God was going to put me through something first to get the message. And so, like I said, I was supposed to get my internet today. I had my appointment made from like 2 to 4, and so like I was planning just heading straight home, but like I had to gas up first, and like all these weird events like kept coming up for me getting there, and it was like there is no way that these are all like coinciding together. Cause first I had to fuel up because the light came on, then I missed the light because the cops were coming, so everybody has to stop. And then there's like construction on the road, and like all these things happened. I literally missed the dude by like 60 seconds. I like watched them drive off. It was crazy. I was like, really? Because I was super anticipating this. I mean, like, I know it's just internet, but like, I was super anticipating it. And it was like, what? And I was like, I remember I came in the house today. I was like, what? I mean, like, I'm like, and I mean, the weird thing is, I got upset with God over it. I was like, really, God? Like, literally 60 more seconds. I mean, you could have made the guy wait 60 more seconds, so I would have made it. I was walking around the kitchen like, what? I was like really upset at God. I was like, God, come on, like, make him turn around or something. I don't know. It was weird. But like, sometimes in our lives, things happen the way we don't expect them to happen, or like things that you didn't want to happen happened, or that you were expecting to happen, they don't happen. And we might be like, God, why did this happen? This is just kind of like out of the blue. What's up? And I mean, yeah, sometimes I also find myself like when I can't explain something and I just like demand from God these like answers. But the thing is, sometimes these things happen in our lives because God is trying to either teach us something or discipline us. Like, for example, in Proverbs 13:24, I want to read that real quick, given I can find it. It says, those who spare the rod of discipline hate their children. Those who love their children care enough to discipline them. And so the reason is why some things might happen is because maybe God's trying to discipline you to do, so you don't do something stupid that you might have done like 3 days ago or something. You know, God disciplines you because He's a loving Father. He loves you so much. If He didn't love you and you screwed up somewhere, you know, what kind of dad would God be if He just let you do whatever you wanted, you know? But He does love us, and so He prunes us. Um, Also, God may be refining you, taking you through something, like when purifies gold, you got to take out all the impurities. In fact, a couple of days ago, I was listening to Awesome Man of God. He was kind of preaching on the fire of God, and some people do associate the fire of God with like judgment or something. But the fire of God, it's not against people, it's against the devil and all those disciplines and principalities. And so, an interesting thing he says, he used this example of when he was a little kid, how he liked to watch farmers burn down old barns. Um, like, they would have like rodents and everything in their ruggedy down old barns, and they would light it on fire, and everything would burn down. All the snakes would run out, and then it would just be a nice clean foundation. And so he kind of used that example of God's fire, and I just kind of thought about it as this refining thing. God might be putting you through something to refine you or to teach you something, you know. But the thing is, a lot of times, just because we can't explain it, we kind of blame God and even, yell at Him like, really, God? Like, you're really going to do this to me? Like, you say you love me, but yet this and this and this happens to me, what's up? And, that happens to us just because we don't have the answers. But we need to trust God and be faithful to Him and trust that it's for your own good. In fact, just about the faithfulness of God, I want to read from Jeremiah 29, verse 11. It says, "For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord. They are plans for good and not for disaster, to give you future and a hope." And really, that just kind of hits you that, you know, you might be going through something, you might be having a hard time, you might not be understanding what's going on, but we can always look to God and know that it's for our benefit. You might not understand it, but that's fine. You just got to be faithful and stand in firm faith. And I mean, I don't know what you guys are going through right now. Maybe you're about to go through some kind of season like that in your life where you just have to hang on, be patient, put your faith in God. I mean, I don't know your life, but God does, and no matter what comes your way, you got to hang on, be faithful. I mean, look at Job. I want to read about Job. This came up today while I was preparing the sermon. I wasn't sure whether to include it, but I think I will. Um, and if we go to Job chapter 1, um, here's what's up. It says, "There once was a man named Job who lived in the land of Uz. He was blameless, a man of complete integrity. He feared God and stayed away from evil." And then it lists how rich he was, and then it says, he was in fact the richest person in the entire area. And later on, verse 6, it says, "One day the members of the heavenly court came to present themselves before the Lord, and the accuser Satan came with them. 'Where have you come from?' the Lord asked Satan. Satan answered the Lord, 'I have been patrolling the earth, watching everything that's going on.' Then the Lord asked Satan, 'Have you noticed my servant Job? He is the finest man in all the earth. He is blameless, a man of complete integrity. He fears God and stays away from evil.'" And I mean, you read that, it's like, dang, I mean, Job was called by God Himself the finest man in all the earth. I mean, if Obama calls you, you're cool, I mean, that's considered cool. But I mean, this is God. He called Job the finest man of complete integrity. And it's like, you read what happens throughout the book of Job, and all these messed up things happen to him. It's like, right there it said, he's the finest man in all the earth. And like, you would expect, good job, Job. You did a good job. Keep it up. God or Job might have been, thinking, I'm doing good, and all of a sudden, all these calamities fall upon him, and it's like, what? He's following God, doing what he's supposed to, and all these bad, unexplainable things happen to him. And sometimes those kind of things happen to us, and we're like, what? But as we read through the book of Job, we know that Job remains faithful to God. And I mean, even his wife says, curse God and die. Some wife. But still, he remains faithful to God despite all the stuff that comes his way. I mean, at one point, you just read and it's like, all you see around Job is doom, death, and gloom. That's it. But yet he remains faithful. Later he says, I came naked from my mother's womb, and I will be naked when I leave. The Lord gave me what I had, and the Lord has taken it away. Praise the name of the Lord. And it's like all these crazy things happen to him, and he's still praising God. And it's like, you read about it, it's like, Job, are you out of your mind? Your kids died, your wife just left you, told you to curse God and die. Everything you had is gone. You are sick, and you're still like, praise God, you know? But the thing is, Job remained faithful through all of this. And even through all of this, all these crazy things happened to Job, but God was also faithful to Job. He never left him, not for one moment. Because I'm pretty sure if God did leave Job for one moment, Job would have died. But he didn't. And my encouragement to you guys is, I don't know what you're going through or what you might be going through soon or whenever, but even if you can't explain it, I just encourage you guys to trust and have faith in the Lord. I hope you guys were blessed.